Yo, today we have Reddit. We have Reddit today. The first question is how to get rid of an all or nothing mindset. And before we get to that question, I want to share a quote that I saw, random, but while I was reading this book that I've been reading called The Leadership, a great quote came up from Martin Luther King. Now, the quote he said was, "Our lives begin to end the day we remain silent about things that matter." I'll let you guys think on that. Shout out to the pioneers of and motivators of the last century. You know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Those great speakers, powerful voices, very inspirational voices to me. And yeah. Great quote. This question here. I think my ADHD contributes to this, but basically, I can't start anything. Work, TV, books, etc. without having to binge or literally finish it all in one sitting. I can't take steps, or I have to do it all in one go, basically. Can someone help me fix this behavior? And I've actually been through this myself, where I've had the urge to engulf myself and surround myself with a topic that I'm involved with. You know, whether it's books, whether it's TV show, anime, games, sports, education, entrepreneurship, all of those things. I've had the tendency to make it everything and make it kind of like an all or nothing. So I do know the approach of how to kind of work around it. So it's kind of a question that does suit me. And let's see how I answered this back in November. Let's see what I said back then. If the ADHD has a big impact, then I think it is better to seek professional help. Like I always say, anything regarding mental disabilities, impairments, seek professional help. Besides that point, I will try a direct approach, but keep it simple. I can't start anything without having to binge or literally finish it all in one sitting. Yes, you can. But it is very difficult, so you can resort to convincing yourself that you can't. Okay, I just seen in the next sentence I say, which kind of made me understand the approach I'm about to take. I will not directly address his question, but I will address his statement saying that you can't start something. Now think about this. In your life, have you ever said, I can't do this, or I can't afford this, or I cannot make the time for this? Anything revolving around you can't, whether it's your ability or your time. Have you ever said something like that? When you shouldn't really have to say something like that? Well, this following paragraph will address that. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and the best takeaway from his book for me was the difference in the mentality of the rich mind and the poor mind. Person. The rich-minded person would end most of his sentences with a question, opening the door to conversations and answers. I.e., how do I start reading, even though it was hard? What ways can I try out regardless if I fail or if it's hard? So, the rich-minded person asks questions, leaves things open-ended, so you can trigger that problem-solving mindset, be in a circle of people that are willing to help you with the answer since you posed the question, and it leaves the door open for later opportunities where you can find an answer to it. Now, let's see the other spectrum. What is the poor mind? Versus the poor-minded person who would end his sentences with a statement, leaving the door closed for any conversation. For a conversation or recommendations, i.e., I cannot read this because there is something that I cannot get past which makes it very hard. I have tried so many times I've tried so many things, but I can't do it no matter how hard I try, what I try, or in the future. What I try now or in the future. You can see the change. You can see the shift where if you look at grammatically, like if you look at the grammar, the end of the sentence, so the end of the sentence, it ends in a full stop, saying that you can't do something. But if you say, can I do something, or how can I do something, it ends in a question mark. And we all know what comes after a question mark. We're hoping that a discussion or an answer. What comes after a statement where it's a full stop? It's the end of the sentence, right? It's the end. It's the end of that topic in this context. Now, it's difficult because you'll look at it and be like, maybe it's just sentences. What can sentences do? It's just a word that you're trying to look too far into it. But how we communicate to ourselves and to others is through words and crafting things together, and it does make a difference. And in my life, many other lives had the same effect. So don't brush it over. Don't brush your shoulder and be like, this guy is just talking. He's a load of doo-doo. He's a load of crap. Take it into consideration because there is some truth to it. And next, I say here, there are slight differences that have a big impact / effect on your mentality in the long term. And yeah, this is not. I narrow it down to examples, but this is put those two examples and span it into 5 years of your life, and you'll see how much effect it can really have. He said, I quote him. He said, "I can't take steps." I replied to him and say, no. Yes, you can. Forget all the no-nos I said. Yes, you can. That is the best solution to being at either 0% or 100%. Start off very small. And like in the Atomic Habits book, if I'm not mistaken, even if you start with 60 seconds and then slowly build on that to boost your self-confidence, in your abilities. And that's a 60-second rule that I do still believe is mentioned in Atomic Habits. A book insight will be coming on that soon. That is a very, very great way to practice starting something and not being overwhelmed by, I have to do this for 30 minutes, for 3 hours. How am I gonna start with 60 seconds and see where that goes? Because how I started for when I was studying at the time, I would try the 60-second rule and be like, it's just 60 seconds. What harm could it do if I open my book, open up this website or this PDF or this whatever book, and I just do it for 60 seconds? Will go like that. By the time I start up, it'll be over, right? I set up everything, and then I start the timer. 60 seconds goes by, and I'm not really I kind of focus on the time, and then 60-second ends, and then I kind of go over the 60 seconds a little bit, and next thing you know, is time's going by. It becomes 5 minutes now. The next day I do it again, same amount of time. As I keep doing it, time adds up, and I forget about the 60 seconds in the first place. I just sit down and I do the work. So that's a very effective way to get you started. Last thing, again, is making sure that you push yourself. Is making sure you push past self-defeating thoughts and put in the effort. Will it be hard? I posed that last one as a question for something I don't even know why. Will it be hard? Yes, but it will be worth it because it will be worth the effort because you will get a sense of going after your goals. Good luck. So yeah, that's quite a different angle to take towards an answer. Let me know what you guys think of that. That's quite an interesting way to approach that, rather than directly go at the issue of the all or nothing mindset. I try trigger a different aspect which can maybe take him by surprise. Maybe it wasn't exactly what he's looking for, but having that in his mind can make him think about that in the future. Just shifting your mentality to I can't to I can, and having that become an overall shift, because at first it's going to be like, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'll believe that? But there is some merit to it. Honestly, there is. I can't. It's how it is, really. Like there is no trick behind it. It's just it works for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. Now we will do this one. How do I gain self-worth? This is asked a million times. It's been asked 100,000 times in 100,000 years. I feel like all the time I'm always seeking validation, whether it be from my jokes or humour, to just any sort of recognition. Currently, I really crave some sort of value or recognition from the other gender. I really wish I can feel wanted, but it's hard. I overthink, but I feel unconfident at a lot of times. This sucks, and I wish I didn't think about it. It does sound very tough and grueling, and I hope things have been getting better for you. It's been a few months since you posted this, and I hope you found some way to get better through the comments people have been posting on this. It's great to be self-conscious and aware of how you act, and that's very, very a great trait to have. Being self-aware of your traits, and that's where one of the beginnings is of your growth. Understanding where you're at. To gain self-worth, you can do two things: accomplish short-term goals and build self-confidence, and use positive affirmations to boost self-esteem. These are just two of 1,000 different ways you can start. So don't be too fixated on the two methods, and don't be overwhelmed that there's over 1,000. Just pick one or two starting points, and then you can build on that as you grow. Be your own biggest supporter and be consistent. Even if you fail a few times, get back up and be consistent again. And I've been through it myself. Like, in the future, you'll see. And I hope this message stays the same. I've been through many failures and many successes. Everyone has their own story in life. But I've managed to just keep pushing at the door and keep working on myself, and not letting my resistance that always triggers me in my mind to get at me. You know, the fear, self-doubt, you know, all of those kind of things that try to get you and stop you from pursuing what you want. Try your best to silence it. Have your own techniques and tricks up your sleeve to get yourself back on track and back towards your goals, and, you know, staying true to yourself, because that inner you wants to achieve those things. You just have to be courageous enough, resilient enough, persistent enough to keep knocking down doors to your goals. For overthinking, practice meditation, where you focus on one thing and try to filter out the noise. Keep practicing and don't give up. Yes, for overthinking, try that. There are definitely other things I give advice for regarding overthinking, but that's quite the interesting one, because it does require a level of discipline and understanding yourself a little bit. And yeah, let's see. Finally, things are paying off. Let's see what this person has to say. Oh, he deleted his answer. Good. Oh, goodness. Great with the progress. Happy to hear it. You deleted your comment. Why would you delete it? We was all happy with you. I was happy with you. And I hope you achieve more. And I gave him the little fist bump. Alright. I think I'll leave it there. I think that's as good as cake.